Okay, welcome Twitch. I'm excited tonight. I'm excited about tonight's stream. So let's get to the bottom of this. I have some really exciting news that came out of the Microsoft world, and that is, and it's not entirely new to folks that had iPhones using the Office Lens app in iOS. It's certainly as exciting for people on Android. And I think these updates came within a couple of weeks of each other. But the immersive reader, which I've covered in previous streams, and I'll go back here to let's take a look at my stream notebook. So it looks like on September 15th, I covered kind of the ins and outs of the immersive reader and what it's capable of. And I believe this was the day that I covered. Um, what was I doing that day? I think I was going over um, how to borrow books digitally from the library. So what I had done is these are screen captures from my phone, and we launched the immersive reader, and it was phenomenal. I'll show you what it does. This is not new to OneNote. Okay, this has been a feature that's been built into OneNote for at least 3 years, maybe longer. And what it can do for people that struggle with accessing texts. So we could be talking about a student with a learning disability, such as dyslexia, or a student that's just simply reading at a level that's far below the text of the course that they're attempting. Their auditory, their listening skills could be fine. So their listening comprehension might surpass their word attack and their pronunciation skills, but they don't always have somebody with them who can read the text. Well, with the immersive reader, they did. And what we could do is launch the immersive reader, and you can see that it gives us all these options to set themes that fit their visual needs. I personally prefer the black background and the white text. You could change the text size. You can increase space between. Kind of a new feature is the picture dictionary, which I think I demonstrated was not particularly accurate or useful. It struggled with synonyms. So that's not necessarily a piece that I would highlight here, but I love the fact that we can color code nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, all just with a simple click of the mouse. That's just phenomenal and amazing. But also for a student that's really trying to do well in school, um, they can plug in their headphones into a computer.
Or Thursday afternoon hater had risen at sunrise. On Thursday days she did the Reinhardt's washing, on Fridays she ironed it, and on Saturdays she sent it home, clean and beautifully white, and received as pay the sum of 75 cents. During the winter hater usually did half a dozen washings a week, but during the hot...
So that's really amazing. And it's been in OneNote for a long time. So tonight the topic is... and I've used this in stream lots, and that is there's an app, the best app in my opinion, for mobile devices if you have an Office 365 account or if you just have your own Office subscription. So I have both. I teach for an organization that has Office 365 subscriptions. I also subscribed to Office 365 on my personal account just for this stream, really. And that app is called Office Lens, and it's been something that I've used all the time, and I use it every day, several times a day as a teacher, to scan handwritten documents or printed documents. I use it all the time to do things like, encourage I encourage students to hang on, let me switch this. I got somebody here. A friend of mine is asking for my stream link. So I use it, like, I encourage students in my class to play chess, but I don't encourage them to hurry. I want them to take their time. So if they have some free time and they start up a game of chess and pardon me while I copy this and send it off to my friend. I use Office Lens to because it has picture mode. So I use Office Lens and like take your time, just make the right move, and if we run into the bell at the end of class, I'll take a picture of the board and then scribble on it, and we'll note whose turn it is, whose move it is, and then they can go to the next class and we can clear the board. When they're ready to proceed, I display the picture on the projector, and they set up the board again, and they continue. So I use Office Lens all the time, and what it does is it uses my phone and really just the camera on my phone um, to get work onto my Office 365 account. So really, like that way, I'm not as a public school teacher, I'm not like storing work related stuff on my phone, right? The app is just using my phone as a vehicle to push the content onto the district owned account. So it's great and it's fabulous for that reason. Um, and so what Microsoft has done uh, within the past month is for both iOS and Android, they have added the immersive reader to Office Lens. And what this does is let me walk you through the process by which I used to do things whenever I wanted to do this. It's always been possible to take text that is printed and then get it into OneNote. And then launch the immersive reader, but that always required a computer, which is not always possible, and computers aren't always readily available when as often as we need them in schools. So if you have the luxury as a teacher, if you have the luxury of having access to your own computers, that's great. Because then your students would never be without, and if they had their own phone, you could teach them how to use it for good, for productive use. And if you didn't, then and then the teacher or another student could assist and go through a process where we could push these scans into accounts. Let me show you how it used to be done. So let me add a new page, and I'll show you what I used to do. Now, mind you, I wanted to test all kinds of documents, right? So I've got my voters pamphlet because, there's kind of a big midterm election coming up. We're going to scan a page out of this and see how the immersive reader handles it. I also wanted some printed documents, and I had like a handful of them, and I left them at work. So I just reached into my old college notebooks and just pulled out. And so I apologize if this offends any of you, but I happened to pull the notebook from when I took feminist theology. And so the first printed packet that I had was a little excerpt from the Vagina Monologues. So we're going to scan this and see how the immersive reader handles this. But before we go to the immersive reader that's built into Office Lens, let me show you the way that this used to be done. So the printed documents. So the printed documents would look kind of like this, right? So I'm going to take and launch my phone here. So I'm displaying my phone with Visor, and I'm just going to take a paragraph out of the Vagina Monologues. And what you can see here is I'll go ahead and show what I'm doing on my phone, because I sort of cheat sometimes, because when you're using the Visor app, if you ever used it before as a teacher, you can cheat and use your keyboard and mouse to do input on the Android device. But I'm going to go ahead and just use the touch screen, the capacitive touch screen, like a typical user would. And the way that Office Lens works is it's got all of these modes built into it. So it has whiteboard mode, document mode, business card mode, photo mode. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in document mode. And it'll do its best to detect the edges of the document or the page that you're trying to scan. And it doesn't always do that with the best accuracy. So I'm going to go ahead and just capture, and then pardon me while I turn some lights up here. I need to change my light sources. And it didn't detect correctly. I just wanted the right pane of this page, but you can always adjust the cropping points. So I'm going to go in and move the cropping points. I really just want this introductory paragraph. So I'm going to go ahead and just move And I apologize if I'm a little long-winded here. I just want to make sure this is thorough. Like in this, I'm excited for this. I was so excited when I got notification of the tweet that the immersive reader was now going to be built into Office Lens because I use Office Lens more frequently than anything else at work. And the way that I used to do this is I would scan text, I would go ahead and add it or confirm. I'm going to switch accounts here because I want to make sure that I'm using the account that you're seeing in front of you. So I can put it in a bunch of places here. You can go straight to a Word document, and the OCR is the optical character recognition. It'll scan that as best as it can and make the text editable so that you can type. I'm going to go in here. And I'm actually going to go straight to OneNote. And so we're going to go to our Live with Glitter. Live with Glitter. And so we'll check this box. The gallery would be if you want to, for some reason, save the scan to your device, to your phone. I don't want to do that. PowerPoint's interesting if you're doing multiple scans and you just want each of them to become its own slide. Microsoft will do that for you. And then OneDrive, if you just want to simply store it in your OneDrive account, which I'll use for things like pictures. Like if I see graffiti in the bathroom, I'll take a picture of it and send it to my OneDrive account and then attach it to an email, send it to my principal. So let's do both of those. Let's do OneNote, let's do OneDrive. And let me move the phone's display here. I've got the Live Intervention tab open right here. And it's going to scan, or transfer, I'm sorry, I've already scanned it. It's going to transfer. What I could do is, let's go ahead in the background and open up a new browser window. Wait for that thing to finish scanning. I'm going to go ahead and log into my Office account. And I'm going to go to my OneDrive. And sometimes the phone is better than it thinks it is. So it says it's waiting to transfer here as if this transfer is taking forever. That might not be the case. I've often found that lately, especially since this most recent school year started, I've found that the files are in the target destinations before it completes or before the phone confirms that it's been completed. So let's find out here. I'm going to go into the pictures directory, and there it is right here. So it says just now we have a scan here. You can see a chessboard there that I took a picture of. I think that was a demonstration that I had done, and the phone thinks it's still transferring. So here's the scan right here. Okay, there's the page, right? Again, it's the vagina monologue, so I apologize if that makes you blush. And let's go back to OneNote, because what we're going to find here is there's the scan right here. Now, keep in mind, this is a picture, right? This is a picture. And as far as like the optical character recognition technology that's available on the markets right now, Microsoft has one of the best engines that is pretty much free, right? I mean, nothing's truly free. It's just the price isn't always money. But Microsoft, the one that they have built into Office is phenomenal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and launch the Immersive Reader from the View menu in OneNote. And keep in mind, I did a stream that covers the three-headed monster that is OneNote. So the difference between the OneNote 2016, which comes with the Office installation, OneNote Windows 10, which is one you're seeing right in front of you now, and then OneNote Online. Like, I have thoroughly covered the differences between the three. There are not very many people in the world in existence that thoroughly understand the intricacies of the differences between the three. And Microsoft promises us that one of those will be eliminated when Office 19 launches. I think later this year, and that is, the new version of Office won't have OneNote with it. The OneNote Windows 10 version will replace it. Um, so let's go ahead and launch the Immersive Reader, and let's find out what it does with this picture, right? And really, it's a picture. Okay, if we like, we can put this side by side with, or maybe not. Okay, here's it's a picture, and then it just scanned the text, and we can play it.
Vagina. There, I've said it. It again. I've been saying that word over and over for the last 3 years.
Kind of funny that I happened upon this. So yeah, that's the old way. So we'd take out our phone, we'd scan with Office Lens, we'd push to one of our Office 365 assets, we would go into a computer and get that into OneNote, and then we would launch the Immersive Reader. Okay. Let's skip some steps here. Okay, because now what we have is this is just built right into the Office Lens app. So imagine this. Imagine. Let me try not to go off topic here. I'm gonna try to stick to my guns here. Okay, so we're in the scanning documents part here. I'm gonna try to stay on task here because I get excited when new things can be discovered. So okay, let me launch my glitter pen because everything's better with glitter. All right, so we're gonna try to stay on topic here. So we're here at scanning documents. Okay, so if you want to look at everything we're going to test tonight, so we're going to scan documents, we're going to scan out of a textbook, we're going to scan out of a booklet or a magazine. I meant to have more magazines. We're going to scan right out of my voters pamphlet. Vote November 6th, or vote now if you're in a state that does early voting. We're going to scan text off of a screen. Okay, so I'm just going to open up a web page, bring up a bunch of text. We're going to scan it right off the monitor. We are going to scan handwriting, okay? So I brought this, I run an all-tech classroom, right? So I'm gonna go old school, got my clipboard and a pen here. I'm just gonna write some stuff, and then we're gonna scan that and test the Immersive Reader. We're going to scan in cursive, so I'm gonna do both printed text, and then I'm also gonna write in cursive. And so we're gonna test all of these things in tonight's stream. I'm excited to see what we can discover. So let's go through it right now. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I pretty much am not going to need the computer for a lot of this. So let's bring the phone back to the foreground. Okay, so I've got an old Teacher's Edition statistics book, AP Stats. I've got my voters pamphlet. I've got the vagina monologues. Let's start with the vagina monologues here. And you know what the heck? Let's put the Immersive Readers, let's pin them against each other. So let me go back to that scan. Bring up this Immersive Reader. It's probably the same engine, so I wouldn't see why it would be any different. But just in case. Oh, okay, so hang on. It's backed that out. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to scan. So I'm in Office Lens. We're scanning. I'm not cheating here. I'm using my hands. I'm not using the keyboard and mouse. And I'm going to adjust the cropping points just like I had done previously. Let's just get the introduction title out of there. Let's just get the paragraph worth of text. Not even a whole paragraph because it's been widowed or orphaned, whatever the word is. And this is what we're going to send, but we're not going to send it anywhere. Okay, this is I'm going to uncheck everything. This isn't going anywhere on the web. This is all just going to stay locally on the phone in the RAM, not stored on the phone, but in the RAM. So when you scroll down here, see it's kind of hidden, right? It's not offered in all this. I'm going to scroll down and just open with the Immersive Reader. It says here, read out text from images, and this is going to be amazing, I promise. So there's the Immersive Reader out of OneNote. This is... Oh, whoa, I missed. Okay, so let's go ahead and play.
There, I've said it. It again, been saying that over and over for the last 3 years, been saying it in theaters, at colleges, in living rooms, in cafes, at dinner parties, on radio programs all over the country. I'll be saying it on TV if someone let me. I say it.
So this missed a word, and maybe it has a decency filter on it, so because it is designed for schools and workplaces. So maybe it's filtering words out because I didn't want it to filter out the word vagina, but it did. So let's find out. Maybe I had a bad scan. I don't think it was a bad scan. And I am parched. My throat is dry. I might have to take a pause. Oh, there it is. Okay, so.
Vagina. There, I've said it. Vagina, said it again. I've been saying that word over and over for the last 3 years.
Okay, so I'm going to take a quick, short break, pour something to drink, because my throat's really dry. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, sorry, I had to reach for my super healthy McDonald's Coca-Cola. So there's a document that we've scanned, okay? Let's push it some more, okay? I'm gonna flip over because, you might have seen, I wanted not a clean document that was printed as from its original source, like its PDF or its Word document. But if we go back here, you're gonna see that this was a printout that a college professor had given us, but obviously just copied a textbook, like just opened a fucking book and just stuck it on the glass platen of a copy machine and pressed go. I want to scan this, and I want to show you what happens here and the consequences of what happens when you have columns of text here. So let's scan 2 different columns. So the first time, I'm just going to do the page as a whole. And you can see Lens is trying to take the right pane, which is fine. I'm going to move the cropping points. I just want to see what it does with each column, right? So I'm going to just tell it, oh, there we go. It actually took the whole thing. Okay. Adjust this cropping point just a little bit. A little bit blurry. Not happy with that. So let's delete that and try it again. And I think I need to turn the light up. Okay, so let's try this again. sometimes not all phones are made equal, right? So I use a Moto Z2 Play, so it's a mid-range phone. So and because I get it, people with an iPhone might be like, "Oh, my camera's better," and I recognize that. Just the iPhone, iOS, and Apple's whole ecosystem is not for me. But remember, the camera is just one element of a phone. But for this particular application, it helps to have a nice camera. So you can see here that the right-hand side of this text is kind of blurry. So I'm going to expect it to have some incorrect character recognition. I'm just guessing. So again, I'm not going to save this anywhere. I'm just going to go straight to opening this with the Immersive Reader. And let's see what happens here. So I'm gonna scroll. So disconnected was the word that was orphaned from one column to the next, and I don't think. Okay, so we have here. I say vagina. Yeah, okay, so it only took the first column. And actually, you know what I should do? I actually should go back here. Let's save it to OneDrive. Um, that way I can display the text in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and save it to OneDrive and then scan it again. Okay, so let's save it to OneDrive. Scan it again. And let me launch the Immersive Reader from the second scan. And I think you're going to see it only took the left-hand column. So if you're dealing with text in columns, let's look at a way to do that. So you can see here with a diverse group, and we have with a C, and there's some incorrect character recognition, right? Over. Really not sure what happened there. Should have correctly detected over. There is this weird formatting here. I probably should have cropped this out. The fact that introduction was listed vertically. It's kind of messing with the left indent. But you can see here that it didn't include the entire right-hand column. So let's show you how to navigate that, because it's not particularly difficult. Just with a little bit of creativity. Doesn't require too much as far as problem solving goes. We're going to scan again. And this time, let's set the cropping point to be here. Let's cut off the word introduction. And I just want the first column. Because if that's all you're going to give me, that's all I really want. Because you know what I can do after that is, we'll go ahead and click done. And what I can do now is you can have up to 10 images in one scan. So I'm going to go ahead and add another image, scan again. And this time I'm going to crop and just keep the right column. Again, I have to crop that word introduction out. A little bit strange there. Let's see if I did that successfully. I did. And I'm now gonna save this. So let me move the window because I want to skip this process of saving it. So I'm gonna move the phone just here so that both columns are in view behind my window with the phone display. And remember, this last paragraph begins with "I say vagina because." So again, some slight character misreads, right? So rather than diverse, misread a C as an E. But let's take a look and scroll down to this last paragraph and see what happened here. And it says, "I say vagina because." Now, see, this is going to be painful to read when you have this many character misreads. This is almost going to be unreadable.
With a DIVCRSC group of over 200 women about their vaginas. I say it in my sleep. I say it BC cause I'm not supposed to say it.
So that's two instances now where it misread an E as a C.
I say it because it's an invisible word, a word that stirs up anxiety, awkwardness, contempt, and disgust. I say it because I believe that what we
okay, right? And part of that could be, so if you're looking here, a little bit of a blurry scan, and I'm not sure what happened there. I've gone in here into the Office Lens app and make sure to set the resolution right to high. So that's not the issue. I've also gone in here and maybe... I had the flash on auto. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. I've also gone into my camera and made sure that I had HDR disabled, although that should not make a difference. I normally run my camera app with HDR mode on set to auto. But maybe I should just turn the flash on. Let's find out if that makes a difference. Normally not one to have the flash just turned on. And see, you can see here, it's having trouble focusing. Well, that was stupid. It didn't really flash, did it? Thanks, Motorola. Okay, so I don't think that scan's going to be any better. But that's a pretty good demonstration. I think maybe if the lighting conditions were better, I'm going to go ahead and turn another light on and see if that helps. And I think we're ready to move on. Right, so let's get out of this immersive reader. Oh, weren't we going to compare them? Yeah, we were, but you know what? I don't care anymore. Let's go back. All right, so scanning documents. Let's scan a textbook. All right, so goodbye vagina monologues for the night. Let's go to a textbook. Let me move my Wacom tablet to the floor real quick, briefly. And bring the phone back up here. And let's take a textbook. All right, let's pick some text out of a book. So let's try to, okay, here. I'm just looking for a good little wall of text. Keep in mind, this app that when I tested it, it had problems with pictures that were included in the scan. It froze up today in class when I was trying to see what would happen if I took a science printout. And no, I think I screwed up. It was just fine on the page that I had set. Okay, so let's get some text out of this book. And this is small text, right? I don't want things to be in perfect condition here. I want this to be kind of in real world settings. So I'm going to make the side of the book that I'm trying to scan as flat as possible, because one of the things that really messes up the character recognition is curves. So textbook, scan. And let's crop it. So I'm going to keep that stem and leaf plot out of it. Let's go with this text. Now here's a problem. I am having trouble seeing past the nodes on the cropping points. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Let's see what happens. I'm not convinced. So you see the curves here? Yeah, I don't know. Let's find out what Office Lens does. I'm gonna keep that. We're gonna go. Oh, what happened here? So what happened was I was in the wrong scanning mode. For some reason, I had accidentally switched to business cards. So let's switch back to document. You can always change modes after the capture's taken place. And let's do that. I thought I was scanning a business card. So we're going to go Immersive Reader. I expect a substantial number of incorrect character reads just because of that curve. So let's see here.
The values on the left are the female percents, as in figure 1.3, but ordered out from the stem, from right to left. The values on the right are the male percents. It is clear that literacy is generally higher among males than among females in these countries. Stem plots do not work well for large data sets where each stem must hold large number of leaves.
Wow.
Fortunately, there are 2 modifications of the basic stem underscore plot that are helpful when plotting the distribution of a...
Okay, hang on. Let's put this in OneDrive real quick. Holy smokes. I'm genuinely shocked. I expected that to miss. I expected a lot of incorrect character reads, but it actually got it all correct. So imagine sitting in a class where the text is difficult for you, either because you have a learning disability or you're just reading far below the cognitive demand of the text that's in the course you're trying to take, but you're really wanting to challenge yourself. And your listening comprehension is out the roof, but your reading comprehension, because of word attack and pronunciation and things like that, or vocabulary, if it's some science class with a lot of really difficult and challenging vocabulary, if that's the only thing keeping you from accessing the text, you could plug your headphones into your phone and scan a paragraph or two, or scan a page, or scan a couple of columns worth of text, and just hit play. Have pencil in hand and take notes. Okay, let's scan another one here. Oh, geez, I've got a perfect page here. This is great, but I want to scan the right-hand side of the page. Let's do this anyway while we're here. Okay, let's do this anyway. In a perfect world, I would have curated the pages I was going to scan and stream tonight, but I didn't have time for that, right? I got a job, so I'm gonna leave that curve in there, and actually, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I was fairly certain that the curve, that kind of a curve would have failed us, but I think that's a little flatter. And then I can just crop my own hand out of this. Oh, I feel good about this one. I like that scan. Let's go. Let's do this. Oh, okay, again. Nope, I don't want whiteboard either. Document. Okay, let's do it. There are some symbols in there that, yeah, we'll go to OneDrive, but launch it in the reader first. No, I'm not going to save it to OneDrive. Let's just stick with this demo. Now, again, imagine you got your earbuds in.
Idea of the variance is straightforward. It is the average of the squares of the deviations of the observations from their mean. The details we have just presented, however, raise some questions. Why do we square the deviations? Why not just average the distances of the observations from their mean? There are two reasons, neither of them obvious. First, the sum of the squared deviations of any set of observations from their mean is the smallest such sum possible. The sum of the unsquared distances is always zero. So squared deviations point to the mean as center in a way that distances do not. Second, the standard deviation turns out to be the natural measure of spread for a particularly important class of symmetric unimodal distributions, the normal distributions. We will meet the normal distributions in the next chapter. We commented earlier that the usefulness of many statistical procedures is tied to distributions of particular shapes. This is distinctly true of the standard deviation. Why do we emphasize the standard deviation rather than the variance? One reason is that S, not S2, is the natural measure of spread for normal distributions. There is also a more general reason to prefer S to S. Because the variance involves squaring the deviations, it does not have the same unit of measurement as the original observations. The variance of the metabolic rate.
Okay, pretty impressive stuff, right? Let me take another sip. Think about this. Let's scan the right-hand side of this textbook. So I've found another page to scan. Although I think we get the point, so I'm not sure that it's necessary, but I'm just going to do it to be thorough. So let's back out of here. I just don't even need this. All right. This is about as clean as it gets as far as like having an ideal sample of text from a textbook. And I feel less good about this than I do about the last one, but let's go with it. I'm gonna go with it. And again, I was in the wrong mode. I need to change that before the next scan. This is gonna fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I'm a freaking idiot. All right, just launch it in the Immersive Reader. Oh yeah, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is supposed to say case study, the new SAT. Let me just kind of point here. And this is supposed to say case study, the new SAT, though now SAT. For many years, high school students across the United States have taken the... Whoa, this is terrible. Holy smokes. That's let's just try that again. All right, redeem yourself, Office Lens. Jeez. I mean, I could have just taken the keyboard and just mashed it against my backside and probably come up with something more cohesive than that. That was just terrible. Am I in business card? Yeah, I am. All right. Oh, and you know what? Maybe that's part of what messed this up. Let me try this again. Let's go in the correct mode here. Because that might have affected the focus, the crop. And it's just blurry. Did I get my greasy fingerprints on here from the McDonald's that I ate? Let's crop the title out. I feel better about this, but I don't know. It seemed inconsistent. So let's find out what it does. Wow. Fucking terrible. Holy smokes. Look at this. Yeah, I've never seen such bad text recognition. I think it's mostly that top paragraph. The rest of this looks pretty good. I just don't know what's up with that first paragraph. That's weird. Seriously weird. I mean, I've already scanned it 3 times. It should have been fine. So, not sure what's happening there. Could be the color of the background. Not an excuse though. It could also be the janky settings here. Let me go back to auto flash and see if that matters. I'm just gonna do this one last time, just because I'm like, no, come on. I'm here to show something off, and it's not working. I don't like when stuff doesn't work. One of the things too you might not realize is that Google Drive, the Google Drive app has done this since before Office Lens even existed, as far as like scanning documents and having the edges be detected. Uh, it does something in particular that I wish Office Lens did, and that is when you're moving a cropping point in the Google Drive app, for scanning a document, it will zoom in on that part of the document so you can place your cropping point with far more precision. So essentially what it'll do is like the corner up here, as I'm moving one of the cropping points, it'll, up there, it'll show me a zoom in of the area where the cropping point is about to be dropped so that I can place it with far more precision. And I wish the Office Lens app would do that as well. And this is overkill, by the way, right? This is the 4th time I've scanned this page, I think. And still terrible. All across the board this time. So it was, wow, the last time it was just the top half of the first paragraph. So I really don't know what's going on here. So that's strange. Strange. I don't know if it was this particular text. But it's weird because, this was a flatter, this was the flatter side of the book. It scanned and recognized perfectly the curved side of the book. And then when I went to a more flat side of the book, it's been struggling. So yeah, whew. Let's put the textbook away. Not really sure what to say to that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. That was disappointing. I'm going to go ahead and scratch through this because that's... Yeah, I don't know what to say. But we're going to move on. We're going to push forward. I'm going to scan out of my voter's pamphlet. Let's see what we're voting on. I know we're voting on a grocery tax thing, really a sugar tax thing. We're voting on a carbon tax here in my great state of Washington. I got some Pierce County charter amendments. I've got prosecuting attorney in my county that's up for election. County council positions. District courts. There's a school bond in a city that I don't live in, so I don't think I can vote in that one. I missed the thing I wanted to scan. I must have passed right by it. I'm looking for the initiatives. We have 2 state initiatives that lots of special interest groups are just pouring money into. One of them is regarding a carbon tax. The other one is regarding a supposed grocery tax. And I don't know. I'm just not even reading my voters pamphlet correctly. How irresponsible is this? Okay, so this candidates, fires in school districts, Pierce County. Yeah, Pierce County. Where's the rest of it? For information about state measures, U.S. Senate, congressional. Oh, so there's a state voters pamphlet that's separate than this. Okay, that's a little bit unusual. Normally, we used to get just one voters pamphlet. So let's. Okay. This is throwing me off a little bit, but that's fine. I'm just gonna go to the school levy that I don't think I can vote on because it's in a school district that I don't live within. But that's fine. We're going to take this text and we're going to scan it. Bethel School District. Okay. Office lens, come back. So we're going to move the Wacom tablet. All right. So there's some formatting here that I think Lens might struggle with. I'm going to leave this curve here. I'll make it as flat as I can before the scan. I'm not going to hold it down. Office Lens, you've lost my good graces with that last page we tried to scan, and so I'm not going to give you any more freebies. I'm going to push you to your limits. Oh, okay, so that was a pretty good crop. I have deep skepticism about the left-hand side of this text. I think we're going to have massive character misreads, but I could be wrong. So we're going to launch the Immersive Reader. Do your thing. Come on.
Election Proposition No. 1. High obligation bonds $443 million. Of Directors of Bethel School District Number 403 of Schools. If approved, Propositee 253-683-6010. See complete resolution text at piercecounty-elections.org. Challenger High, renovate adopted resolution number 25-17-18 concerning a proposition to finance construct. And Elk Plain RSS, make district on no Nihoy 1 will ver authorize the district reacted.
Yeah, just as I expected. Massive misreads. Okay, I am going to help you a little bit, Office Lens. Let's try to flatten this just a bit. Holy smokes, that was terrible. Part of it could have been the formatting, how there's like boxes and frames and stuff. Okay, I am going to cheat with my mouse because I can't get that cropping point correct. Okay. Do your thing. Wow, terrible again. Terrible. I mean, a little bit, that's sort of to be expected, but man, that's like, I ran through a few tests of this this morning and throughout the day, and just they were not this terrible. So I don't really know what's going on. Stream. I don't know what's really going on. I mean, do I have to flatten it like this? I mean, I'm set to maximum resolution. Okay, let's try it a little differently then, rather than continuing to hit our heads against a brick wall. I'm going to try just the statement 4. And again, I have deep suspicions that those curves, the entire left-hand side of this text, is going to be misread because of the curves. But I thought that of the first textbook page that I scanned, and I was wrong. So let's just see what happens here. Wow. Wow. What? There are hardly any words. There are hardly any words. Okay, so let's clear the deck here. Restart the app. Something's going on. Yeah, this is astonishing. I'm truly shocked because, like I said, I've been using Office Lens for a while, but I've been using the Immersive Reader even longer. And the Immersive Reader, like oh goodness, I used to just take pictures of text and put them into the Immersive Reader, and I thought this was the same engine, but that was just terrible. Here, I'm excited about this, to share this really powerful tool with the community, and people who advocate for folks with disabilities, and it's not stepping up. It's good. I'll tell you, as somebody who uses these things all the time, every day, it typically works. I don't know if the lighting condition here in the place where I'm streaming is bad, but I mean, that was a bad scan. I mean, it wasn't a bad scan. It was a bad character read. Oh, this is better. What the hell? Okay.
Statement 4. Local property tax rates for schools will not increase. Voting yes will address overcrowding, renew our worst facilities, and improve student safety, as recommended by the 35 bipartisan community member task force that studied the facility needs in a comprehensive 6-month process. This is due to the legislature's change in education funding model, lowering local taxes in lower cost areas like ours, compensated by higher school taxes in King County. Therefore, some of what we now pay towards local operating costs would go towards the cost of new buildings. The new and upgraded facilities.
All right. Whew. All right. We made it through that. That was painful. Booklets and magazines. This was a booklet. Sorry, I meant to have a Game Informer, but I don't think we have time for it. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to text on screen. Whew. I'm going to scratch through this one again. That was not a good experience. It was too many rescans. And I apologize, stream. This has been a little disappointing. Just a little disappointing. All right, so let's go close this tab. I'm going to stay logged into office.com. Let's go to Wikipedia. And what is the gaming community excited about? Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Launches tomorrow night, really midnight Friday Eastern time, but I live on the West Coast, so that'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow night for us. I'm not getting it. I just don't think I'll have time to play it. Although we know it's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to zoom in and let's just scan the premise. I might need to adjust the width of my window here. So let's just zoom in on let's scan the premise. Okay, bring the phone back. And again, I'm just pointing my phone at my monitor, right? I've got Google Chrome opened, pointing my phone at my monitor. And we're going to crop because I just want the premise.
Premise. In 1899, the Air Force to flee. With the AA, the nation massing on their heels, the GAOG and fight across miles of.
Back up. You missed a whole sentence there. Back up. What the heck? My goodness. And this could be because of those whatchamacallem. I don't know if it's polarization lines or whatever, those lines, because when you're taking a digital display, an image with a digital camera. But yeah, that was way, I mean, you missed the whole sentence. Office lens. You missed the whole sentence. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. This text should be recognized. I don't understand what's happening here. Probably should have rebooted my phone before I started the stream. This is just weird. I literally had been using this thing all week, and now we get all this failure.
The era of the Wild West is coming to an end. After a robbery in the town of Blackwater goes wrong, outlaw Arthur Morgan and the Van der Linde gang are forced to flee, with the authorities and the best bounty hunters in the nation massing on their heels. The gang M. St. Rob, steal, and fight across miles of American wildness and civilization to survive. As internal divisions threaten to tear the gang apart, Arthur must choose between his own ideals and his loyalty to he gang. Among the returning charioteers are John Marston and Dutch Van der Linde, the protagonist and an antagonist see from the previous game.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. Let's try again. Let's try more challenging vocabulary. Let's look up cellular respiration. Let's take this paragraph. We'll just try to scan this. Restart the app. I'm getting irritated here. This should not fail this poorly. Although those lines are looking bad. Oh, and look at my mouse pointers in the freaking way. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Yeah, at this rate, I don't even know if we're going to get to the handwriting portion of this, because I just might be disappointed even more.
Nutrients that are commonly used by animal and plant cells in respiration include sugar, amino acids, and fatty acids, and the most common oxidizing agent, electron acceptor, is molecular oxygen, O2. The chemical energy stored in ATP, its third phosphate group, is weakly bonded to the rest of the molecule and is cheaply broken, allowing stronger bonds to form, thereby transferring energy for use by the cell. Can then be used to drive processes requiring energy, including biosynthesis, locomotion, or transportation of molecules across cell membranes.
Now that's the immersive reader I was looking for. Finally. All right. Moving right along. On-screen text. Yay, I'm giving you a star. Handwriting? Are you kidding me? Handwriting? Let's go to the okay, let's go to the God of War page. Okay, so here I am here. I'm just gonna write. I'm gonna transcribe here a paragraph. So let's do this. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch here. So God of War received universal acclaim from critics. So I'm gonna start off here with some glitter pen scribbles. Received universal acclaim. I'm almost tempted to throw in some spelling errors here to see what's going on here. Oh, I think I'm going to confuse immersive reader with the spacing there. Being praised for its narrative, world design, art direction. And I am using a Wacom Intuos BT, the Bluetooth one, and I am wirelessly paired here via Bluetooth. I'm normally not a fan of that, but the latency is pretty good with this tablet. What am I doing? It's narrative, world design. Apparently I can't talk and track at the same time that I'm writing. Art direction, graphics, characters, and combat. Characters and combat. Oh, latency there. Just as I was bragging about this, I don't know if that was just because I'm streaming or not. I'm ignoring. Okay, characters and lost my Wikipedia page. Here we go. And combat system. Okay, so first of all, the immersive reader in OneNote handles this like a champ. Couldn't find any text on the page. Oh, you suck. You suck. Excuse me. Wow, immersive reader, you suck. Okay, one thing here. I need to clarify something. So I'm gonna go to OneNote 2016. I just learned something, by the way. The immersive reader that's an add-on to OneNote 2016 is apparently superior to this one that we're using right now in Windows 10. So here we're going to synchronize here. We're going to go to handwriting, and I'm going to go to the immersive reader here, and this one's going to kick the OneNote Windows 10. Are you kidding me? You are kidding me. Wow, I'm floored. Okay, so let's go away from the glitter pen. That might have thrown it off, believe it or not. So let's. Holy crap! I can't believe I just wrote all that for nothing. Let's. Yeah, this is painful. I gotta lasso select this and just get rid of it. I had all these things, these great, grandiose, awesome tech demonstrations planned, and then just crap is not working. And I mean, there goes for the for being a tech enthusiast. These things kind of happen sometimes, but man, how disappointing. So I'm gonna go without the glitter pen. Let's just go with a standard. Holy crap! I suspect this is what's and to prove that I'm not crazy, I'm going to delete the title of this page. So you're going to see here that the page is untitled. And let's go back to Windows 10 because maybe I was harsh on the Windows 10 version of this. So we're going to go back here and let's synchronize this copy. Man, I'm upset. Okay, let's close 2016. Switch to a non-glitter pen because apparently glitter pens are no good now, right? So do I have a regular pen? Okay, this is a regular pen. Holy smokes, I'm beyond frustrated right now with OneNote. It's my duct tape, so don't get me wrong. I continue to teach with it every day. But holy smokes, this has been a frustrating demonstration because teachers, I've been showing teachers this immersive reader that's built into Office Lens all week, and telling folks that I'll be streaming at this and this. I've only had it just absolutely suck at scanning textbook pages. Absolutely suck at scanning booklet pages. And now the OneNote version of the immersive reader, which had been a stalwart, solid performer for me in every instance where I've needed it, just sucks for me tonight. Wow. And then now I'm getting latency issues with everything's just angry at me right now. Praised for its narrative, world design. Art direction. I think I can stop right here. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think this is going to work. Okay, so let's try something here. Okay, let's go back. Going back to OneNote 2016. Wow. That's what I was expecting. Okay. I was going to lose it if this didn't work. So, okay, so it recognizes my handwriting.
God of War received acclaim from critics, being praised for its narrative, world design, art direction.
Oh, wow. Wow. Whew. I was going to lose it. Characters and combat system. Huh. I'm almost done because I think I'm going to lose it. Just know, folks, I've officially lost my faith. But I am going to try to do this. So let me move. Try to get this viewfinder so that my phone's not. There we go. The whole point of this was to see if the phone would recognize the handwriting, and I don't know if it's going to. I'm far less confident than I was 40 minutes ago. Far less confident. So don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Take a sip while that processes. Holy smokes. What is that? What is it even? I don't know. I don't. So let's test one more thing here. Then okay, so handwriting didn't work. Does cursive handwriting work? So let's journal here. Tonight, the technology disappoints. Let's just leave it at that. Whoa!
Tonight,
okay.
The technology disappoints.
Okay. You really did that to me, right, Microsoft? Right when I lost all faith in tonight's demonstrations. Then, let's keep going. The textbook scan. Textbook is probably one word. Half failed. The booklet scan. Failed. And the handwriting scan. Failed twice. There's a failed in the OneNote app, and it failed in the phones, the Office Lens app as well. And I'm no novice. So it would be one thing if somebody who didn't know what the hell they were doing would run into these problems, but I use this crap every day. So we're going to do one more. And I'm going to get my phone and I'm going to scan that. Well, first of all, let's prove that it works.
Tonight, the technology disappoints. The textbook skin half failed. The booklet skin failed, and the handwriting skin failed twice.
That's impressive. Okay, let's not miss that. That's really impressive that I wrote that in cursive by hand, and then the character recognition just handled it like a champ. Trying to avoid those. I don't know if they're like interlacing lines or if it's polarization or it's greasy ass fingerprints on my. No, it's not. It's definitely the. Oh, come on, you twat. Yeah, because those lines are definitely going to mess things up. Does it have to do with the distance? Oh, it does. It does. Maybe a scientist could explain that to us. I'm not in the mood for it. Is this going to do it? Oh, wait a minute. I'm not displaying my phone. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm ready to launch this. I scanned it. And I'm going to cross my fingers. I'm going to be hopeful, but I'm not going to try. Okay, so please try again with different images. So this is apparently a different image. A different engine that's powering this. You'd think it would be the same engine, but let me just try to scan it one more time. I was having some trouble with, and I don't know if I can scan. Okay, let's try scanning. Okay, I think I got a good scan there. No, I went a little too low. Don't want to cut anything off here. Okay, good. Let's try that. I want to cross my fingers. I'm not going to expect it to interrogate this and recognize. Oh, it's trying. Oh! And it thought my handwriting is in some other language. Is that Korean? Or is it Japanese? Or is it Chinese? I don't know. But, definitely not what I expected. I was hoping for a much more impressive demonstration here. Let's go back and officially check these things off. I hope to revisit this in the future. So keep in mind that, first of all, this was a success, right? But then that's nothing new. This was very 2016, 2015.
Tonight, the technology disappoints. The textbook skin half failed. The booklet skin failed, and the handwriting skin failed twice.
Yeah, all this stuff is still amazing, right? I was really hoping for and actually was getting better results with the Office Lens Immersive Reader throughout the day today and also yesterday as I was kind of experimenting with it in the lead up to this stream and kind of deciding what I was going to try to do in this for this demonstration, but it failed. It failed. So I hope to revisit this because, yeah, I don't want to just rehash it, but I'd like to find out what went wrong because definitely books worked for me earlier today, textbooks. Booklets and magazines definitely worked for me earlier today. Um, Handwriting, I don't think ever worked. Handwriting was one of those things where I thought was going to be an adventure, and I was going to discover and learn something, and I did. I learned that it's possibly a different engine that's running the immersive reader in OneNote versus what they built into Office Lens. But don't get me wrong, though. This is not like I'm not recommending this, right? This is yes, still, if you have somebody close to you who has a learning disability or is reading far below the level where they're attempting to take a course where the text is heavy, is going to be challenging for them. Definitely, this immersive reader can open up and make text accessible, difficult text and challenging text accessible to a wider range of audiences. I don't know why my demonstrations were so inconsistent today. I was expecting a little bit of that. I wanted to see what would happen if we scanned a textbook and we had an edge that was curled, because that's the result that I was getting earlier today. Is that the characters that were curved on the scan were incorrectly recognized. But we saw from the first textbook page that I scanned that I was wrong. I had, as text approached the spine of the book and was curved, it read it correctly when I scanned on the left side of the textbook, and then when I went and scanned that other page 4 times, um, on the side of the book that was relatively flat, it failed. So, but bottom line is this will only improve with time because the Microsoft developing teams that work on these apps, especially Office Lens and OneNote, they don't push updates that break features typically. So the fact that they've added the immersive reader to Office Lens, I think, is great news across the board for everyone. Everyone wins with this, and I imagine they're going to be working on their optical recognition, their optical character recognition engine, and improving that with time. I also, this was weird, just really strange that that this failed. I don't get why, like, my printed text, okay, that worked there in Windows 2016. I was really shocked to find the Windows 10 version. I'm sorry, OneNote 2016. I was shocked to find that the Windows 10 version of OneNote failed because this is a version that's supposed to eventually replace everything and be the varsity team, right? The A team of OneNote. And I think this immersive reader has got some ways to go, unless, we're take me by surprise. Okay, so there's good news. Let's not get too excited, but let's scan this one as well and find out if OneNote 2010. Oh, look at that, OneNote Windows 10. Okay, so my faith has been restored partially into the Windows 10 and Office 2016 versions of OneNote. That's encouraging to see that the cursive was recognized. I don't know why it didn't recognize my cursive the first time around. That was just weird and unusual. I was hoping that the same thing would happen in Office Lens, but clearly that didn't work out the way that I thought it would. But I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Regardless of my particular frustrations, this is still good news across the board for people with disabilities, for those who advocate for folks to take challenging academic content and coursework. You should install Office Lens on your phone if you haven't already, and do so now. Even if you don't have an Office 365 account, if you don't have to subscribe to Office 365 to make Office Lens work for you. It is best that you have a Microsoft account, and then with that, the free version of what you get from Office when you, even if you don't subscribe to Office 365, is you still get like 5 gigabytes worth of OneDrive storage, so you can still take scans with Office Lens and send them to OneDrive if you want to. OneNote is available for free as well. You just get far more features out of it if you do have the Office 365 subscription. Um, but that's all for tonight. So I want to thank those of you who joined. I had just some lurkers in the stream, and that's great. I'll migrate this over to YouTube. I'm not necessarily going to brag about it because it was kind of a frustrating and disappointing demonstration. But that happens sometimes in the tech world. You have to be willing to go out there and just do something, whether or not you've had the practice or the training. And so I was excited when last week when I saw the tweet come out that Immersive Reader was integrated into the Office Lens app, and so I was excited to try it out. So I've been using it all week, mostly to good and impressive results. And then tonight, I was mostly disappointed. So I hope to revisit this because maybe something about the lighting in this room was just not good. I don't know if the Office Lens app was optimized for fluorescent lighting or what, or if I just have insufficient light in this room. But that shouldn't have made a difference because I turned the flash on my camera. But we'll see. I'm gonna discover this. This will get better in time, and so I'm not overall disappointed in the product. I still highly recommend it. I require my students to install Office Lens on their phone, otherwise they don't have permission to have their phone out ever in my classroom. So if they want permission to use it for any purpose, any instructional purposes, I do require that they're using Office Lens to do a lot of the things that you've seen in the stream tonight. So thank you. You all have a good night, and to any fellow Twitch streamers out there, have fun at TwitchCon. I won't be joining you because I'm still new to this, and I've got classes to teach. So, have a good night. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.